Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
To level up.
Okay, girl, let's get started. Hi, friends. Raman and I just wanted to let you guys know about this app that we use. It's called Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Yes, and it can be heard on all the main platforms and uploaded on them directly, such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. And you can start making money on Anchor right away.
Yeah, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to
Anchor.fm to get started.
Have a great week. Bye. Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
Today on our episode, we're going to be talking about the Friends reunion.
Yeah.
Don't know if you've had a chance to watch it. If you have not watched it yet,
Spoiler
please turn off this podcast and listen to it after you watch it, because we will be talking about a lot of information that we saw, and it might be spoiler alert, so we don't want you to hate us after.
Yeah, definitely. Come back though,
after you're done watching it. But on today's episode, Alysha saw the Friends reunion episode first, and then she was like, you have to watch it. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I did finally watch it, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful. It was emotional. It was
everything I needed it to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I don't know if there was something that they could have done that... Okay, so... when we see like reunions, I actually did not watch the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion,
Me
but
either.
I saw like clips on Instagram, and it looked like they were just kind of like sitting in a living room talking, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, there was so much more to it.
Yeah.
Right? It had so many different segments, the way they like edited it and put it all together.
And like played the games. And
I
then
loved it.
I really like that they read the scripts again too. I thought that was so cute. And like their voices were exactly the same. Their emotions were the same. It was just so phenomenal. And like, oh, I don't know, just everything about it. And then I love that like world impact, you know?
Yeah.
Showing people around the world that like, you know, it's in almost every other like language.
Yeah. What did they say? It said like... No, they said eventually in some point of time it came out in 9 languages.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's like 2021. It's probably out in more languages. But isn't it amazing to think about that they still make money off the show until this day?
I know.
Like, that's amazing.
I know.
To have a show that you made for 10 years, but then you continue to make money on it for like the next 100 years.
And they're so damn humble.
They're so humble about it.
And, you know, okay, so I love that the directors had said, you know, and I feel like we could relate to that in your 20s, that we wanted this to just be in that stage of your life where it's just friends and your family is your friends.
Yes, I loved that the directors put that into perspective. I think as a viewer, we needed to hear that, because it was very, very honest. It's a phase in your life when your friends are your family, because you do grow up and you get to a stage where you build your own family.
Exactly.
And that's how kind of the show ends, right? And
With
that's
Monica and Chandler.
Monica and Chandler and Phoebe and
David.
David? Mark. Wasn't it Mark?
David?
No, she doesn't end up with David.
Oh, yeah,
Phoebe,
Mark.
I think it's Mark.
Mark, yeah.
And, you know, just all of them.
Rachel and Ross.
Except poor Joey. Joey still didn't find a wife. But Joey has his sandwiches.
He's always going to be the third wheeler.
So, you know, the way they said they, like, ended the show, because, you know, just like in life, you know, you go to a place where now you have your own family and you're building that. And that's kind of, like, how they decided the show would come to an end. I don't know why now was the right time to do a reunion.
Yeah.
But it was...
No, it was scheduled for a couple years ago. And I was explaining this to you earlier, is that, what's his name again? Matthew Perry?
Yeah.
Okay, so Matthew Perry, he basically had a drug addiction a few years ago when they originally had approached this idea of doing the reunion. He wasn't in a good place, and I think it was due to a major breakup or something that really impacted him, and he went through some rough times.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why they had to move it, and they had probably originally said 2020, but because due to COVID, then they finally just said 2021. And I think that's what ended up happening, because if you look and see, like, a lot of the people in the background that were part of the show, like the parents and stuff, they're a lot older now.
Yeah.
So I think they were like trying to still capture as much as they could before they lost anyone maybe too,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, I know you wanted to say something about Matthew Perry that you noticed.
I did notice that there was something a little off about him. Like, everybody had this, like, energy, and which was kind of consistent with each other's energy, but his energy did look a little off. I don't know if I'm, like, the only one who really noticed. I know you, like, also kind of got that feeling as well, but like that moment where they were sitting and Phoebe, okay, I might call them by their friends' names.
Yeah, me too,
so
me too.
When Phoebe or Lisa was like, you know, we know that when everyone, we're not in touch with each other as much as, I know Courtney and Jennifer Aniston are like best friends until this day.
I see them on Instagram all the time.
Like all the time. They're still like super best friends, but with the rest of them, you know, she was like, if we ever have to call somebody, if we need somebody, like the other person will pick up. And Matthew Perry was like, no one calls me.
Yeah.
And that was like a little, they all laughed, but it was a little,
I don't know if he was joking or telling the truth.
I think he was telling the truth.
Yeah, right?
I don't think there was, I think they all laughed as in like, ha 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 ha, but I saw like seriousness in that comment, and I was like, shit, like, are they not checking up on him, or like, you know, and like, it's, you know, it has been 15 years, right? So it has been a long time. People have moved on with their own lives, and
he never really came out with anything else after that either.
Oh my god, he has so many movies.
Really?
Matthew Perry is like, I feel like out of the entire cast, I feel like the main people that came out with movies after are Jennifer Aniston,
Phoebe.
But even Phoebe never got a lot of main roles.
No, not
but
main.
Matthew Perry does have main roles. Like I can think, like on top of my head, there's like 17 again there with Zac Efron.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah,
you're right.
There's so many movies.
Okay, you're totally right.
I cannot remember names, but like I'm remembering like movie clips on the top of my head, and he has been in a lot of movies. So Matthew Perry, Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, like here and there. Like
she's had a lot of shows, Cougar, and a few other main shows.
Cougar. Okay, so she's had some shows, and then I think like throughout the show, like she was obviously a part of like the Scream production and stuff like that, those movies as well. And then like David and you know
not so much.
Joey and
Joey had shows.
Joey had shows. I never really saw
he had like
Joey.
episode, and then they were all comedy role shows.
Yeah. I never really saw him too much, and then I didn't really see like even like with Lisa, there were very like minor roles that I could think about. Like the last movie that I think she was in is oh my god, what was it called? The A movie? The one where you put the letter A? I don't know. She
Scarlet
was like, the Scarlet A. So that's the last movie that I remember her in. But she's played like
Easy
small,
A.
Easy A, small.
Easy A. Yeah, I remember. She was in there.
She was in that movie. So she's played like some small roles, but like with Matthew Perry, there was just a vibe. Like there was just something kind of off about him, even when they were like doing the walkthrough, and I don't know what it was. Like I hope I know you said like he was not in a good place.
I know, but can I tell you what almost got taken away from me during this time? So I got a little scared for a moment when I saw that like vibe of his. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, is he gonna uncover something that was like traumatic during this time frame? Because that's gonna ruin the entire show for me. He kind of did. He's mentioned that, you know, I felt like there was always so much pressure that if I didn't hear them laugh, that I'm like, oh shit, I didn't make them laugh. But then like someone else would.
Yeah.
And he's like,
and he was like, I would die for the laughs. I would join this like scene for the laughs.
Yeah. And they said, like Phoebe and all of them were like, I didn't know you felt that way. You never told us that
way. And and I think like, because obviously they're doing like live sitcom, right? Yeah. So there is a lot of pressure with having like audience there. And I'll talk about a specific scene that they mentioned that I absolutely loved. But yeah, like there was something to it, something that didn't get mentioned. And you know what? I don't know where I read this, where I saw this, but before watching the reunion, I thought I saw somewhere that when like Matthew Perry started gaining weight on the show, like how it like really impacted him, like about the way the audience like had responded to his weight gain. Yeah. And I don't know where the fuck I saw this, because I thought it was from the reunion. Like I thought it was one of those Instagram clips or something, but it must have been from somewhere else. But I know that was a thing that I read that or read. But
he
or
was
saw
getting
somewhere.
Older and he was aging. You know,
he was. Yeah, he gained some weight, but
it wasn't a lot.
Who fucking cares?
I know.
You know what? Like so, but it did impact him. So I think he might have. And you know what? Like you said, there might have been some things about the show that because one of the first questions that were asked by the audience was, you know, there's a lot of good memories about Friends, but was there any bad memories?
Yeah.
And that's when I was expecting shit to come out. I was like, oh, they're gonna be like, we hated this. But then Ross was just like the monkey, right? So then the whole attention got kind of diverted to the monkey. So it turned into be a fun answer. But like that question, I was like, I thought about Matthew Perry right away, because I was like, are they all gonna say something different? Like,
but they didn't get to.
But they didn't really get to.
I wish they did that too, because I would like to know, honestly, what it was too.
Yeah, exactly. So what was your favorite part of the reunion? Like, if you had to pick one favorite part.
I think my favorite part was I think definitely them all embracing each other again, but more so the scripts, sitting around the table and having that moment for themselves to reenact it. And like, it was their favorite clips that they got to do, like some of the ones that were important to them, right? So like, you know, one of them was, I think, when I love that episode too, when they're at Ross's new apartment and they see Monica and Chandler.
My eyes.
Best episode ever. And like, I just love that their tone of voice was exactly like the episode, and they're just sitting around the table together. And I was like they just went back into 15 years ago, like just like that, you know. And they fell right back into them, and I loved it, because it shows me you weren't just being an actor and just acting it, you were really being yourself too, and you brought a lot to the role as yourself. So that was one of my favorite parts. What about yours?
I loved when they played the game.
I know, that was so cute.
That was just so cute. I loved actually also, okay, I know naming two things, but I loved that they brought everybody back.
Oh, yeah.
Like Gunther.
Janice.
Okay, Janice, I was expecting her. Because, like, how can you not have her?
She was in the last episode.
But, like, Gunther and, like, the man upstairs. And then
the parents.
The hand model.
Even
like, Joey's
Richard.
hand model. Richard. And so many people that they brought back, and I loved that part. Like the reunion, they didn't just make it about those 6 people, and that's what I really liked. They made it about like the whole show and like the key characters, and they incorporated like so many different scenes. Like even when they were doing the fashion show, they
Justin
did like
Bieber.
I know, like they did the fashion show with like their different outfits. Like I just like how they incorporated so many different parts of the show and not just like made it about like, okay, these 6 characters and that's about it.
Did you see how they mentioned Brad Pitt?
They're like my old guy and then your old guy.
And I forgot Ben Stiller was on it. Like there was some really great Reese Witherspoon.
I remember,
and I love Reese.
Julia Roberts. I remember that episode so well. And Reese Witherspoon was so cute. She was like, I was like, I'm gonna be on Friends, and now it's
then
like
Joey said his like line.
How you doing? And she was like, I got the famous Joey line told to me. So like it was really cute. But one thing that really surprised me when watching it is when they were like, they never watched so much of the show.
I know.
I was like, what?
And then like now Ross's kid is watching it.
And then they're like rewatching it, and like Joey was saying
their
like,
partners are watching
it. Like it was playing on TV, and then he like decided to watch it. But then they were like, we didn't watch seasons, like whole seasons. And I was like, is this what happens when you're an actor? Like you just don't care about like because you know you make a movie and like you have a premiere and you watch the movie and blah blah blah. But it's like, and I guess like when they started the show, you do watch a lot of the beginning. But then you just at some point you're just filming. You're not watching like the end results and stuff like that, right?
Probably not having time.
Yeah. So that was kind of surprising to me.
And
was
then
like, interesting. And they still have it until this day.
I know.
Maybe they should binge watch Friends.
Maybe they should. But maybe they also don't want to reopen things. Like maybe they don't want to see that they didn't like. Maybe they're critical of themselves and their acting in the beginning stages because they were all pretty new. So maybe that's what it is too. One other thing that I had like really liked as well was that like the girls had lunch every day together. That was super cute. They were really like connected.
Lisa
still.
And David, they were like, there was a point where we were having like every single meal together.
I know.
They were like even on the weekends, and I'm like, that is so fucking cute.
It really was like friends.
Yeah, it's like it's like the people that you work with and you're like the closest to, right? And you're spending hours and hours a day with them, and over 10 years,
I know.
right? So you just like naturally will gravitate towards those people. But there's something I want to talk about.
Okay, tell me.
Oh my god. Okay, so one of the things that was like kind of exciting and cute and like super adorable and like was that we found out that Jennifer Aniston and David had a crush on each other. Huge crush.
And that kiss.
I know, and I was like, what?
I felt that emotion.
You know when you see like two people on TV and on screen and you're like, oh my god, like how cute would they be if they were like a couple in real life? So that was actually, I think, one of the things that the public did not know about.
I don't think so either.
And that was like a really good piece of information.
And Courtney Cox made a really good point.
Yeah.
Had you been together or did do something or acted on it,
yeah,
who knows how the show would have went?
Because it's like 10 years, like, and then you have to work with them. And yeah,
Yeah.
she did make a lot of good points, but it was just so cute because
So
they were
cute.
like, I don't know how people didn't know we had a crush on each other, like huge crush. And
Because
then
they were always
because he
together.
was talking, and then she was like, and it was reciprocal, like it was
Yeah.
just so cute. And then when they were talking the script writing,
Yeah.
and then the moment that they kissed, and they're just
They're
like reaching out to each other's arms.
I know.
I was like, oh my god.
And they even said, like, she was like, oh my god, is our first kiss going to be on TV?
Yeah.
Like, that was hilarious. So
And then it
It
was.
was really passionate.
And she said it was basically like, I don't think she used the word sexual tension, but there was like tension, and they
Yeah.
got to like release that
Yeah.
in their characters.
which was so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god,
They're so
little
cute.
girly moment when I heard that.
I know, me too.
And then the other part that like really liked
We're
on
going to talk
the
about Chandler and Monica.
I'm gonna talk about Chandler and Monica.
I love that part too.
I loved it because they showed like how
the fans reacted.
The fans reacted, and the reaction was like
Priceless.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Like, they just stood still and let them
They-
have that moment.
Yeah, and then the directors talk about how when they were creating that scene or that script or whatever, it was never intentionally
Yeah.
like for Chandler and Monica to end up together. It was just like the reaction. They were like, they had to listen to that reaction and they
Exactly.
had to follow it.
Yeah.
And and then even like when they come back and they kiss, and then people's reaction. And I think like how different would the show have been if Chandler and Monica did not end up together?
I know, it would have been weird.
It would have been weird. Like, who the fuck knows? Would she end up with Richard or like, you know,
Yeah,
or
and I
like
don't know.
Joey or somebody
Yeah.
else? So I was like, that was, and in my head, I was like, when they were writing the show, it must have been like Chandler and Monica. This was like meant to be. But
Definitely.
that scene where
So amazing.
So amazing. I loved the reaction. I feel like I was like just
Yeah,
cheering
me
on
too.
too, and I was like, oh my god. But I feel like it's stressful when you're like doing this, and I know a lot of the old sitcoms are like this, where you're like doing it in front of a live
Yeah.
audience, so there is like less room for error as well, right? Like you
Absolutely.
can't shoot the same scene like 5 million times.
No.
You have to kind of get it right.
It's a lot of pressure for sure. I feel like you're just like, wow, like the way Matthew Perry felt, or like, you know, you kind of just are like, what if they don't like me, or what if they don't like it, or, you know, what if I screw up and they laugh or don't laugh, you know? It's just a lot of pressure in a role like that. And I feel like, you know, I love that the writers are right there while it's being done, because then they're able to change it up for the actual premiere of the show on TV.
Yeah.
But then also it's not making you feel so bad, because it's kind of the writers who write it for you, right?
Yeah.
And they're making it better. And it's like the whole team is working together in that one live room.
Yeah.
Like, they're standing nearby. You got your directors on set. You got your actors on set. And it's just like a whole production. And I don't feel like you see that anymore in Hollywood. You know what I
No.
mean? And like, one thing I was really impressed to also see was that where I never realized, I was also young, right? Like, the show came out way before my time. My mom was watching the show already before I was born. Is that like, you didn't realize they were like kind of like the Beatles. Like, they were on Rolling Stone cover. They were famous.
They were so famous. And they talk about how like after the second season is when they started to realize that people are recognizing them and recognizing
like the
their
drone
faces.
over the house.
And the drone, and he's like, my rooftop.
He's so cute. He's such a cutie pie.
He's like,
I
cute.
went and took a ladder out and started cleaning.
And when they were like, where would Joey be now? And
Sandwich
it's like,
shop.
he's like, he's somewhere open a sandwich shop. And I was like,
So
that's so
cute.
fucking cute. And it's so true. I feel like part of their personalities also reflect in their character. 'Cause
Definitely.
when you see like them just sitting there talking and stuff like that, I don't just see Jennifer Aniston. Like, I see Rachel,
Yeah.
I see Ross, and I see parts of their personality in their characters too, which I do think is what helps them kind of like be so successful in their roles.
I definitely agree with you on that for sure. And also, like, you know,
was there anything you didn't like from the reunion, or you wish that they?
I wish there was more.
Oh, it was like an hour and 45-minute reunion.
I needed more. I really did need more. I love that they chose that host.
Yes.
He's awesome. I forget his name right now, but Ben Warden. I don't know.
No. Oh my gosh.
Benjamin something.
No. His last name starts with a C, and that's all I can remember.
So I love him.
Yeah.
He's perfect for it. I do feel like it was a little longer, but it's everything I needed it to be. A lot of people were like, why couldn't it have just been a movie or another episode? And I was just like, no. Like the producer said, they had their kids. They were moving out.
Yeah.
They were all moving into their own like aspects of their life.
Yeah.
What would you really show? I needed it to just be that, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be extended. I didn't want to see a whole new lifestyle and be saddened by it. That something didn't work out for somebody. I'm happy living in my fantasy world.
And that's why sometimes it sucks, because when you watch a really good season, like one season or two seasons, it's a really good season and you're like, amazing ending, and then they fuck it up by bringing another season, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously they're continuing making money, blah blah blah, but then that season isn't good enough, and then it doesn't live up to the expectations. And the same thing for movies, right? Like you have
Reunions.
the first movie is like really really good, and then they make a second one and the second one is like trash, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like you should have kept it epic and just kept one, you know?
So I feel like, you know what that one reminds me of? I don't know if you watched Hills growing up.
Oh, I did watch The Hills.
Okay, so the reunion's out, and
the reunion?
Yeah. So me and my mom,
when did it come out? I need to watch it.
It's the whole season's playing right now live, so you can watch it. It's on episode 4 or 5 right now.
Oh no, I've seen the whole show, but are they
this
having
is the
like
new
a reunion show?
episode? Like they brought out Hills again, and my mom and I are watching it because I grew up watching it with her. And it's funny because Amit used to work on the set there at MTV.
No way.
So he knows Jesse, went to the parties. He's been in the crowd of the Hills when they needed fill-in. So he used to work there. I'm kind of disappointed because, like, you know, I was okay with how the Hills ended with Lauren and stuff. And I know this is going to the Hills. But that's a show that right now I'm not impressed with that they came back with. And it's like, listen, you're hot, fine. You got issues, fine, like everyone else. But I can't relate to you. Like, you're not doing anything different 20 years later. You're not giving me hopes up.
So wait, is it the same character?
Yeah, except Lauren.
But they had... Wait.
Okay, so Lauren refused to come back.
So the way they ended The Hills when it ended was that they ended it confirming that it was scripted.
Yeah.
So is it like scripted
Not
again?
scripted now. No, it's just reality TV.
Or is it scripted and they're just
Who
saying
knows?
like, because that was reality TV then too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not scripted, they're saying right now, and it doesn't look scripted because of the shit that's going down. It's stupid. Brody looks amazingly hot, but like other than them growing and looking the way they do, and then I don't even want to talk about Heidi. She looks so plastic.
She's so plastic.
Yeah, and her man, like, they're just still annoying. Audrina's back. Whitney only came back for an episode.
I need to see this.
You need to.
I need
like,
to see
Bobby's
this because
back.
I used to
Do you remember
watch
Bobby
The Hill.
Frank or whatever his
Bobby,
name?
Yeah.
He's so hot.
Yeah.
He's back too.
He's still hot.
Oh,
He's still
so
hot.
sexy. And like Thor sexy. Like long hair.
He was always sexy.
Oh,
he was
but
just stupid
bad
and
boy
sexy.
sexy.
He was stupid and sexy.
But like Brody looks good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but I'm not impressed. I don't think you needed to come back.
Oh.
You're not doing anything for me. That's how I would feel if they did another reunion.
Yeah.
Like if they did another episode of Friends.
Yeah, because now it's like you're creating problems when we've had our happy endings already in our head. And sometimes, and I think the directors made such an amazing decision to end it off on such a positive note that everyone has like is happy with their families, is content in their current, and that like I think the biggest attachment is also the apartment, right?
Yeah.
Like them moving out of the apartment and when they leave all their keys.
That was so cute.
Right? And it's just like I feel like everybody around the world is attached to their apartment, not just, you know, like the little thing like around their key thing, like people have their homes, right?
Yeah.
And how famous is now like
a lot of the lines
and like
pivot
but like
I died like I legit died again all over again on that.
It was so
and the
cute.
way he was joking and still saying
I was
dying.
It was so cute. And like Friends has just impacted the world in so many like emotions too. They talk about how it's like helped people when like
Depression.
they're going through depression, they're going through anxiety, they're alone, they don't have friends, maybe they don't have like that outlet
Or they
to
learn
kind
how
of
to speak English.
oh, that one was a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just it helped people in so many ways, and I think people should stop. There's like two fucking people in this world. There's like people that are like, I love Friends, and then there's people that are like, I hate Friends. If you fucking hate Friends, stop fucking judging people who like Friends. Like, keep your opinion to yourself, because you know the show has helped so many people. If it hasn't done anything for you, congratulations to you, but it has helped a lot of people in their life and in their own ways. You don't need to know necessarily. A lot of people just see Friends as a sitcom, right? Like, a lot of people are like, oh, sitcom, same location, same jokes, what could it be? And that's fine. It's not something maybe you're into, but
it brings a comfort level to others. It makes them feel safe, you know, like,
and happy, right? When you're having a bad day, sometimes coming home and putting on your favorite TV show,
like Beckham.
I know, like Beckham. Oh,
when he's traveling. So, you know, I could relate to that.
Yeah.
When I was traveling for work for Calgary, you saw how many times I was traveling.
Yeah.
I was alone, and I don't like being in like hotels alone.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like creeped out. So I literally on my iPad would have Friends on.
Yeah.
And that would help me go to sleep just
And
because
it's
the comfort of their
comfort.
voices, and it's something I'm familiar with that I know it so well that I could pass out and I'll
Yeah.
think about it. Or it's always been something I play in the background when I don't need to think about it.
Yeah.
You know, or when you've had such a tough like day or week.
Yeah.
That you're like, I can't think about a show right now. I need something that's just like gonna feed my brain.
Yeah.
And that's what I would turn on.
Exactly.
You know, I could relate to that. And another thing, talking about around the world, it's crazy that I can relate to my cousins in India.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about Friends.
Yeah.
So like they're like, you know, I'm such a Monica and you're such a Rachel. And I'm like, I think my cousin Natasha had said this like a couple years ago to me when we were messaging back and forth, and she referred to Friends as she was explaining something to me, and I thought it was so cute. And I was like, it hit me in that moment, fuck, they have Friends in India?
Yeah.
And it's like, she can watch this and relate, like Grey's Anatomy,
Yeah.
everything, like my person and everything. I'm just like, that is so cool. Like, there's something I can relate with my cousins across the world in a whole different country, and we can talk about something in common.
Absolutely. I do think Friends is that show that you can travel to any country, mention it, and they will know. They're not going to be like, Friends what? Like, they will know. Like, whether they have seen the show or whether they have not seen the show, they will know Friends. And Friends has, like, grown through so many things. Like, I see bridal showers in a Friends theme. Every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry's custom craft, it has like honestly the amount of custom, like all the custom pages on Instagram, if I go to like any, there will be some sort of Friends theme. Easily. Something there. You know, like the one who, you know, like the episode beginning, so people are using that for everything. I actually worked with a girl at my last job who's now husband, but fiance at the time, was like his favorite show was Friends, blah blah blah, and they incorporated like some of the things said in Friends in her vows to him, because she was like, she knew how much like it meant to him, the show.
That's so cute.
And she like mentioned some things in the vow, and like I read her vows, and it was like beautiful. So beautiful. And there's just like so many ways that people do incorporate this show into their lives, whether it's just watching it or whether it's, you know, taking that extra step and doing more things about it.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was a really great reunion. I think it was absolutely
everything we needed it to be.
Everything everyone needed.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? I feel like we all needed that. We needed to see them all together.
And know that they were actually friends.
They were friends.
They weren't just actors. Not. And I love the huddles.
I know.
The huddles every night. That's so fucking cute. And like when, you know, when they got up to say bye, they all hugged and huddled again. And I was just like, you don't make up that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, TV's so fake, Hollywood's so fake. Yeah. You don't make up that kind of thing.
I remember when Jennifer Aniston joined Instagram, her first post was all of them, and it was like, now let's all be friends or something like that. Like, that was her
saw that too.
First post,
and
it
Courtney
blew
Cox
up.
actually was like welcoming my friend finally to Instagram.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
It was so cute. But it was definitely amazing. I think everybody should go watch it. Sorry. If you listen to us and you haven't watched it yet, sorry. We gave you a disclaimer beforehand.
Yeah.
And if you have watched it already and kind of like agree with, you know, some of the things that we said and are relatable.
Tell us your thoughts if you have something else to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. If you have any questions or anything you want to share with us, definitely email us at ramanandalysha@gmail.com. And if you're not already following us on Instagram, please do at Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.